Hello and welcome to the Beastly Thoughts Show. We are live. Today we got the Beastly Gamer, we got COD Made Player, we got all sorts of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about is Sledgehammer Games. What do you guys think about the news that Sledgehammer Games is going to be developing the next Call of Duty, and they are going to be on a 3-year release cycle now. All the studios are going to be on a 3-year release cycle.
I think, personally, I like Modern Warfare 3, honestly. I thought it was a pretty good game, pretty solid. A lot of people didn't like it for some reason. To me, they have a pretty decent background in making Call of Duty games. They're saying this is potentially the best one ever made. You know, and this 3-year development cycle, I think, will be beneficial for everybody because in the past they've used 2-year development cycles, so they get a whole another year to fine-tune the game, to to add as much detail as possible, to take care of all the bugs and hiccups, and overall it'll be a better product for everybody playing. Of course, now we got these next-gen consoles. I made a video on this, and I honestly do think that when Call of Duty Ghosts came out, it was kind of like an up-res version of a last-gen game. It came out for PS3 and Xbox 360, and it's kind of like, Tomb Raider and the other games that you got PS4 versions of. The gameplay is essentially the same. You just get a graphical boost. Now, if they're going to take this new Call of Duty and go in a completely different direction, rebuild the engine, keep the form and fun factor of the game intact, but have it actually be a PS4/Xbox One experience that you really can't get on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, I think that'll be great. Hopefully, that'll be something that they're thinking about for these next-gen gamers and people who bought the new systems, and then they can port it over to the last-gen consoles. I'd like to see a Call of Duty that's actually, made from the ground up for these next-gen systems. But I think Sledgehammer Games, they don't have a whole lot of games under their belt, but they know about Call of Duty. They've worked on Call of Duty before, and I think that it's potentially really good news. What about you, COD?
I just want to see where they're going to go because how they went for, the Black Ops series, it basically all, connected. So I want to see what they're going to do with Mason, if they're going to come out with another, like Black Ops 3, where they're going to bring the zombies, because like in 2, it was like a dream sequence at the very end when you finish the Easter egg. And if they can reinvent it in a better way but keep the story the same going, and, we got the next gens, make the graphical content way better than what it should be, like you were saying, get better stuff from what we can also get on PS3 and Xbox 360. I want to really see what they can do in this period of time, because I heard that Treyarch's going to release theirs in about 2015, and then following that it'll be Infinity Ward in 2016. So I really want to see where they're going to bring this franchise and see if they can impress us gamers and actually start taking our advice and reinvent themselves in a good way that would entertain us and draw a bigger audience to their games.
Great, very deep. I personally, I just uploaded some Call of Duty footage. You guys check it out. I had a couple games yesterday. My brother came over and hung out. We played Outlast, Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty, but I'm on the same page with a majority of Americans that it's becoming stale. There's only so many times you can reinvent the wheel. And Call of Duty, it's been essentially the same game with minor tweaks and kill streaks, updated, different weapons and slightly tweaked modes. I want to see them really push the envelope. I want them to get out of the zone of being safe. When you're safe, you're not going to revolutionize. If you want to play it safe, you're never going to go that extra mile and break all records, blow minds. I want them to not be afraid to try to change things. We've all seen Call of Duty. We all know what to expect. But I want that one guy who's sitting in these offices, who's developing a game, who has an idea that he thinks is unique, to actually bring it to the table and say, hey, look, let's try something. This might sound crazy, but damn it work. Let's try something.
I'm of two minds about this, right? It's like, yeah, I think it's a good idea to have more time to develop Call of Duty. You never know, really, if it's going to be enough time, or if they're gonna change it so much that it doesn't feel like Call of Duty anymore. And now it's been a number of years. It's been since Modern Warfare 2 that we've actually seen the original guys, the guys who had that creative vision for Call of Duty, have actually been involved anymore. So now it's getting so diluted with all these new people and all these people that, you know, they're trying to hold on to what Call of Duty is at its essence, but they're also trying to innovate. That eventually Call of Duty is going to get lost. It's going to still say Call of Duty on the box, but there's not going to be any similarity to the original game, and that worries me a little bit. You know, I know that it's been an evolution, not a revolution, but I like the game. I like that core gameplay. I like that fast action. I like that multiplayer that just, it's the best multiplayer in the world. It continues to be the best multiplayer in the world. There's no game that's been able to dethrone it because nobody else has been able to duplicate that kind of frenetic, fast action, great netcode, you know, all these different options as far as guns and kill streaks and you know, customizing your character. All this stuff is really unique to Call of Duty. You know, Battlefield has tried to emulate it somewhat. Halo even tried to emulate it in the last game that they released, but I'm a little worried because if they really revolutionize Call of Duty, are we going to lose what Call of Duty is? Is it going to still say Call of Duty on the box, but we're not going to have any more Call of Duty games?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It could be a Titanfall game and say Call of Duty on the cover. Things could change and it could get really ugly if it's done the wrong way. That's the fine line they need to learn to walk that line. Call of Duty is its own game. It stands by itself. It has its own legs. It has millions of fans worldwide. So they need to focus on that aspect of Call of Duty, maintain that while still adding something to the mix. I don't want Call of Duty to turn into SOCOM. I don't want Call of Duty to turn into Medal of Honor. Call of Duty is the best first-person shooter in the world for a reason. It's because that core gameplay mechanic, the speed, the ferocity of the game, it's very good multiplayer. You can sit and talk shit, shoot people, and it's you know, it's head and shoulders above everybody else. That aspect of it needs to stay the same, but at the same time, they don't need to be afraid to try new things, add new things to the mix. Kind of like they did with this new Infected mode for Call of Duty Ghosts. I really like the original Infected mode. I don't care as much for the new Infected modes, but they weren't afraid to try it. And so you have the option to stick with the original Infected, or you can try some of these newer modes with new weapons. That is trying something, but it's still holding on to the core mechanic of what Infected is, because you can still play the original Infected. I think as long as they have a mind to add to the mix without taking things away per se, it's a win-win. But they've got to be not afraid to try new things.
I've also heard a lot of disappointment that it'll be another year until people get zombies back. A lot of people really love that zombies mode. And now that Treyarch isn't developing the 2014 Call of Duty, you know, it's going to be another year. It's going to be until November of 2015 to get zombies mode back. A lot of people are disappointed about that.
Yeah, honestly, I played zombies in Black Ops probably more than any of them. I played that more than I did in Black Ops 2. When Black Ops 2 came along, me and the old lady, we split screen team deathmatch for a year straight, so I didn't play it as much. I think zombies is a really fun mechanic, but there's other things that, you know, that are on the disc that are just as fun. You know, waiting for a year, hey, it's probably not the best thing in the world, but there could be a lot worse things. As long as they stay focused, and as long as they're continuing to, you know, release new DLC and revolutionize the game, I think it's a win-win for everybody. Again, if you're, you know, sad for zombies, go back and play Black Ops 2. I think Black Ops 2 is a hell of a lot of fun in zombies mode, and so you can always get back into there. I see people online still uploading footage of that now, so, you know, it's a little time to wait. It might be disappointing, but the thing that I'm hearing more about, I hear a lot of people are upset that this new Call of Duty is going to be another modern shooter versus going back to, you know, the World War II era shooter. People like Thunder have really wanted, I mean, he's been talking about this for a while, if you guys know what Thunder is. He's been talking for a while, this new Call of Duty, how he wanted it to go back in time to that era of the World War II shooter and bring the speed and bring the ferocity of these modern shooters, but take it back in time. But it appears that they have decided to keep it modern. Me personally, I prefer it to be modern because I like theoretical weapons. I like how Black Ops 2 has weapons that are not available. It's theoretical future iterations of what weapons are today. And so I like that little, you know, room to imagine what it could be. play around with these new weapons versus something that you know what the max capabilities are of that day and age, so you won't be able to do certain things.
Yeah.
But,
I could see them having, now that they got 3 studios, I could see them doing, 3 different time periods for the games. Like maybe Sledgehammer goes back to the past, Infinity Ward stays in modern day, and Treyarch just keeps moving farther and farther forward into the future. That would be cool because each year you get, a totally different feel as far as the weapons, kill streaks, equipment, all that stuff goes. I wouldn't mind that. I don't want to go back to World War II, though. I'm just sick of World War II. We got so oversaturated with World War II games. You know how many times I stormed the beaches of Normandy? It's ridiculous.
And they all started the same way. That's exactly how they all started, storming the beaches of Normandy. And it felt like no matter which one you were playing, it was still the same game. What about you, COD Made Player? How do you feel about the modern versus the old Call of Duty games?
Well, I started off on the old ones just like everybody else. That's how I first got into Call of Duty. I really like the games because that was like what was out at that time, but to go make a step back, to go back into that region of where they already been, wouldn't it be a really good step? Just like with Call of Duty Ghost and the Black Ops 2, every time they come out with a DLC, if you actually look at the maps, it's from the game before. It's just reinvented maps. They just put a little bit of different tweaks in there and stuff to make it look different and feel a little bit different, but if you are a Call of Duty player, you can still tell it's the same map.
Yeah, Briar Rabbit just did a video on that a few days ago, right after he got his DLC. What map was it, Briar Rabbit? I think it was from. Was it from Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, it was Scrapyard from MW2. I think it's called Ignition this time around.
Yeah, but we had a lot of fun on that level. I showed Kate. I said, "Look at this, babe. It's the exact same level, Scrapyard." And she was like, "I don't remember it." I said, "Because they've changed the polygons, they've changed the textures, but it's the same game." And we actually went back and looked. And graphically, after all these years, the jump has not been that astronomical. Scrapyard still looked really damn good. I was like, wow, it looked so good way back then. And I showed her, she's like, wow, it's the same level. So they do regurgitate. They do go back. I think it is done for the fans more than anything else. A lot of people like those older levels. They want to, relive them again. But I think out of every DLC, you should only have maybe one. Because, like Briar Rabbit said, it's so much easier to run around a level that you know already. You learned this thing years ago. It might be your first time playing it, but you already know the hiding spots. Yeah. You know where campers are. It is so much easier to just get back into the old thing versus learning something new that gives everybody a chance. And so they did the same thing with what was it? The airport. I'm trying to remember from Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, the airport was it not called an airport?
No, the terminal.
Yeah, terminal.
And they did it for they added this Black Ops 2.
They didn't even change it though for Modern Warfare 3. That was exactly the same as it was in Modern Warfare 2. Same textures and everything. The only thing that was different was the rule set that you were playing with.
I think if they're doing things like that, like in the terminal, once you go up the escalators in the beginning, there's a whole area over to the right that you cannot access because there's chairs and stuff in the way. Now, if they open that up and had a whole new little area, making the level a little bit bigger, something newer to learn, I think that kind of stuff makes those older iterations of levels much better if you can expand them and add something new to them rather than just regurgitate 99% of the same thing.
Or pull like a strike zone where, you're playing this old map. Imagine they brought back Ignition just like you remember it.
Yeah.
But halfway through that map, they blew it all to hell, and it was a completely different map, like Strike Zone is in Ghost. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I do like a lot of the stuff that they added to the DLC in Ghost, such as, Michael Myers. I think that's a really fun touch. Having him run around. It's a little bit overpowered, but it's just I don't know. It's just like fun, Like I'd like to see them do more stuff like that, more tie-ins to other franchises. You see that a lot with Steam games. Right now they're bringing in BioShock stuff into what is that shooter that's really popular? I can't remember the name of it right now.
Actually, Final Fantasy 13-3 Lightning Returns or whatever, the new one. She actually has a DLC outfit of Lara Croft, so
that's great.
That'll be sexy.
Yeah, I've been playing the Lara Croft Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for a Let's Play, and I just realized that you can change her outfit all the time. And it's
really?
funny, all her outfits are they're kind of reminiscent of things that you've seen in movies or stuff like that. Like you can kind of dress like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator. You can kind of dress like what's her name from the what are those Aberdeen, whatever her name is. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Well, the Hunger Games?
Yeah, the Hunger Games. Thank you.
Oh yeah, well, I hadn't seen that yet.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like little kind of, they're close. They're not exact, but they look very familiar.
They're close enough that they can't get sued for them.
Yeah.
Call of Duty did this before, but it wasn't actually franchises. They actually utilized actors and actresses. I know, what was his name? Danny Trejo, he was in it. Yeah. Sarah Michelle Gellar. You know, they've had these kind of characters in Call of Duty games, and now they're bringing out horror villains. I like to see Kruger. I like to see Jason in there, but I don't want them to have the exact same mechanic. I want them to create a mechanic for them. I wouldn't mind seeing like Schwarzenegger in the game or Stallone, like on a level that may be, you know, more army centric. You get a kill streak and you turn into Rambo or something.
Yeah. Was it Black Ops 1 where they had Ice Cube doing the announcements for the multiplayer? Was that Ice Cube? I think it was Ice Cube. It was hilarious. And then they had, in World at War, they had the guy from 24.
Oh, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, yeah.
Or should I say Solid Snake?
Is he Solid Snake this time?
Yes, they got rid of God. I can't believe I'm not thinking of his name. The original Solid Snake, the only real Solid Snake. They got rid of him, and he went on IGN and talked about it. The fact that they actually ousted him, and let me see what's his name. They ousted him and put in Kiefer Sutherland. David Hayter.
David Hayter, that's right.
That's the man. I don't care, you know. I like Kiefer Sutherland. I like him probably more for his role in The Lost Boys than I do 24. But personally, I think Hayter will always be Solid Snake. You know, I'm a big Metal Gear fan. Love it. So what else has been going on, man? What have you guys been hearing in the wind? I've been hearing that this new Call of Duty Ghost DLC for the Xbox One, has been creating frame rate issues. I read that it was dropping on some levels, dropping the frame rate down to 15, 16 frames per second. Have you heard anything about this, Briar Rabbit?
That's a super bummer, man. I haven't experienced it myself. I have heard about it. Apparently, it's tied to their latest update, not necessarily the DLC, but a patch. And it like you said, it drops the frame rate, and like that is the only thing the Xbox One has going for it. You know, it's got a solid frame rate. It's got, you know, running at 720p, but it's got a solid frame rate doing it. And now it doesn't, and that's a real bummer. And hopefully they figure this one out quick and get it fixed. I'm sure they will. You know, it sounds like it was just an unseen bug, but I'm sure they'll fix it quick.
Yeah, it came from a patch. It says in most cases when a developer issues a new patch for their game, the intent is to fix a nagging problem, either on the server or on the player side. Occasionally, however, the implementation of a patch uncovers a new problem in the game, even causing more harm than doing good. The latest patch for Call of Duty Ghosts for Xbox One, for example, was put in place to improve the game's performance in multiplayer, yet it ended up causing frame rate dips on maps where there currently were none. To make matters even worse, the patch was supposed to improve performance in preparation for tournament play, but instead it made certain maps close to unplayable. The patch in question arrived this week alongside the new on-site DLC and featured a bevy of fixes and server-side improvements, and it just goes on and on, but wow. Luckily for me, I play on P. Well, I can't even say luckily because I don't have the DLC, damn it. Xbox One.
Have you heard a date on that? I heard like February 24th or 28th. I can't remember the exact date, but it's not that far away.
Oh, great.
Like another week or two.
Oh, well, that'll be mine. And then you can come back over to our side.
I'll be too busy playing Titanfall.
Oh, yeah. That comes out when? March 11th?
I want to say the 11th, yeah.
That's a date.
And the beta, I believe, is coming out real soon.
Oh, yeah. You guys are going to have to jump into that and play that for a couple of days.
And lucky for me, they're not going to ban YouTubers from posting video on their channels.
Oh, yeah, when the beta comes out. You know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like the fact that they're being a lot kinder to their community, because that's what people like to do. People like to show footage, and I mean they're treating the game like it's a a nuclear secret or something. It's a game, and it's about to come out. It's not like it's coming out at the end of the year. It's coming out next month, so it doesn't seem like any footage at this point would be too harmful. It's going to be nice to play it. I'll be playing on my PC. So, what do you think about PC gaming, COD May? Do you do any PC gaming at all?
The only PC gaming I ever really did was for RuneScape when I was like 12, 13 years old. I really never got into it much after that. As soon as I got a console, I love console much better.
And that was an MMO. I played quite a few MMOs in my time. Do you ever frequent the company of massively multiplayer online games, Briar Rabbit?
No, I tried. What's the big one? World of Warcraft for a very, very limited amount of time.
I can't play it.
And it just isn't my thing. It takes too much time to like level up a character and to do all that stuff. I don't have that kind of time. Even when I was in my 20s, I didn't have that kind of time.
Yeah, I remember my first experience with an MMO. I actually played my first MMO on the PlayStation 2 when I bought that giant brick to put on the back of the PS2 to actually connect to your internet. And it was EverQuest, which looked like hell. The graphics were terrible. It was just like a World of Warcraft game. But the possibility of actually interacting with people blew my mind.
Yeah, I tried EverQuest too on PC back in the day. A coworker got me into it. I played with him for like 6 hours, and at one point he told me, "Okay, now you just got to sit here and wait for this to craft a weapon. You have to like sit here for an hour and just wait for this bar to fill up." I'm like, "What do you mean I got to sit here for an hour?"
Wow.
I'm done.
Believe it or not, there's a game I still play right now. I haven't played it probably since this new laptop came, but it's a crappy game. It's really bad. I'm not going to say it's the best game by far, but it's called Silk Road Online. It was a free-to-play game years ago when I was in my early 20s. I came across it and I played it, and the graphics have not changed, but I get a bot. I pay for a bot, S-bot, and it plays for me while I'm in work. And so now I'm pretty high level. I come back home and I also got 8 characters that I made, and I use like an extra server on there. So I got 8 characters in my own party, and people always come by and say, "Hey, can I join you guys?" And we all say no, get the hell away at the same time. It's so powerful. I love it.
You just told me about a game that's so boring that you pay somebody to play it for you.
Yes, it's true. It's absolute. I mean, look, one day I might upload footage of it. It looks really good when you play it on high settings, but there is no substance at all to the game. I somehow used my Vulcan mind trick to get Kate to play it for almost a year. Yeah. And at the end of that year, she was pissed that she wasted a year. And she still look. I still have her character. She won't let me get rid of it because of how much money, real money, I spent buying weapons and crap. So she's like, "No, all the money we spent on this." I actually have a in-game weapon right now for my main character that cost me $40 in real life.
God!
I mean, it's ridiculous, but you get to this point where you're like, "How much is that worth?" "Oh, I gotta buy it." You go ahead and buy it, and then you just walk around, and then you get hacked. One day I logged into one of my characters, and they were in town at my guild storage, and all my stuff was gone. Someone had hacked my account. I felt like I was raped. It's the worst feeling in the world.
Did you guys hear? Oh, man, what is that game? Hold on, I'll come back to it. I'll look up the game.
Did you guys hear, when you think about it, let me know. Did you guys hear about this potential for a new The Last of Us sequel? Now, it's not etched in stone, but it's something that has been talked about by Naughty Dog. And to me, the fact that, okay, if you guys don't know, the 17th Annual DICE Awards just took place a few days ago. And the DICE Awards, to me, they're a more legit award ceremony than like the VGX Awards. I think the VGX Awards kind of shoehorned the Grand Theft Auto 5 as Game of the Year because of all the sales and it was in the news for so long. It had broken so many sales records. But as far as substance, game for game, I truly love The Last of Us much more than Grand Theft Auto 5. And just like all other Grand Theft Autos, once you get done playing it, all you do is run around and you're an asshole. Either you're going to play games or you're going to murder people and raising your 5-star police back down. So it turns back into Grand Theft Auto 3 for me. And so they've all been that way since Grand Theft Auto 3 for me. But The Last of Us won 10 awards at the 17th Annual DICE Awards, including Game of the Year. And after this award, I forget the guy's name, but one of the head programmers over at Naughty Dog, in an interview with Eurogamer, he told them that they in heavy discussions right now for The Last of Us sequel. And the sequel, he said, as long as they can come up with a story that is not going to regurgitate or rehash the old story, they want to push it forward. And hopefully Ellie and Joel will be in the game. But the fact that it did so well for a new IP, to me it was the best new IP of the year, 2013. The fact that it did so well, and Naughty Dog has a knack for weaving these incredibly intricate stories. They got 10 awards. They got a huge bevy of consumers that are thirsting for more of this game. I honestly would sign any petition to get them to recreate the,
So you're on board for this. You definitely want to see a sequel.
Are you insane? Of course I do. I mean, if you ask me, of course the story, I think the original story of The Last of Us is going to be one that's going to be incredibly hard to best. You're not going
Would you like to see Joel and Ellie come back for the sequel?
I don't know if I'd like to see Joel. I mean, I like Joel a lot. He's an anti-hero. By the end of the game, you realize the way he felt really resonates with you. Who wouldn't have done the same thing he did for their own selfish reasons, right? But Ellie is the catalyst for the story to go forward. I mean, think about it. For all the people who play The Last of Us, the Fireflies found out at the end of The Last of Us that Ellie was immune to this infection. Now, Joel went in there and he Heisenberged everybody in that place.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to spoil this game because it is a big twist.
Yeah,
the game's fairly new.
Okay, look. I'm not gonna spoil it. But for those who know anything about the game centers around Ellie. Even though Joel is pretty much the main protagonist through the game, I think a part 2 of this game would definitely have to, in some way, center around Ellie, because of all the desires of the regular people in the world for things to be different. She would have to be the catalyst for things to be different. For anyone in part 1 who knows anything that happened in that game, not going to spoil for you guys, but you all know the hell I'm talking about. You're not going to forget that game. I think, think about that game. It had the best voice acting, it had the best motion cap, it had an environment that felt so real, and it felt so heavy on the player. By the time you get done playing the game, you really feel like, holy shit, this game just really happened. I cannot continue on. I don't want to play this again. It's just so heavy. And it changed me, man. Honestly, it did. I could say very few games do that. In the 90s, Final Fantasy VII did. And I was by myself playing that game. There was no online functionality, none of that, multiplayer. But that game's story resonated so well with me. It was a kiddie. By anyone's standards today, it looks like garbage, right? Kate won't even play Final Fantasy VII because she says it looks so bad. And I'm thinking, this is not Chrono Trigger. This is Final Fantasy. What are you doing? And so
I don't know. Chrono Trigger might actually hold up better.
No, Chrono Trigger. Look, I'm talking about as far as what's considered graphically superior by the standards of younger people. The 3D graphics are always going to be superior, especially for those who don't know much about top-down RPGs. A lot of people I know, they'd rather play Final Fantasy over Chrono Trigger. She won't even touch a top-down RPG. So I mean,
COD made.
Oh, I thought he just went incognito. Oh yeah, I saw him disappear. well, he knows how to come back. So I can make comments for COD made player today. But yeah, you guys know me. I get a little excited when I talk about The Last of Us. That game really.
I don't know though, Brett. Sometimes, like a piece stands alone, right? And there's just no place you can go with it that will improve upon the original experience. Things that come to mind, like right off the bat, are like things like The Matrix or Highlander. For me, those are two things that there should have never ever been a sequel to, because all they did was ruin the original lore, right? Or even the Star Wars trilogy. Like the more they expanded upon that, the worse it got. I'd almost like to see The Last of Us just kind of stand alone as this one piece of art that they never go back to. Okay, make an up-res version for the PlayStation 4. That'd be fine.
I think that's
maybe a little bit of DLC. That's okay, but do not go back to the characters of Ellie and Joel. I do not want to see it. I want to see that open-ended ending. I love it. I love the way it ended, and I don't want to see them go back to it.
This is the thing you got to think about. The Last of Us was immensely successful for that studio.
Yeah.
For a new IP, it did great. And you got to think about the history of Naughty Dog. When did they not make sequels? It's what they do. And especially if the game is successful as that one was, they've got to make a sequel for it. I mean, there's too many people who want it. You know what I mean?
Uncharted, though, it was easy to make sequels to that. It's not, it's like an Indiana Jones movie. You could make sequel after sequel to Uncharted, and they can almost stand as like a single little story. You could just kind of continue to make stories about this guy.
The Last of Us
is different, though.
The Last of Us
would have like Portal. There should have never been a Portal 2. It was stood alone as a single piece of art, and it was perfect as it was. To go on and continue talking about her, it just kind of ruined it for me.
This is the thing. If they do make another Last of Us, which is not definite, they said they're either focusing on a new IP right now, or they're going to focus on a sequel. Now, that sequel, they did not say that specifically it would be The Last of Us. And they also said they want to take some time off because they worked on The Last of Us for 4 years. So it's going to be down the road. But if they do make a Last of Us game, the reason I'm telling you right now, it would have to be about Ellie or someone Ellie is related to. Because this story, it is about lineage. It's about DNA. Okay? And without Ellie, it would turn into a Walking Dead game. It would turn into a game of survival with no end in sight. It would just be a situation where you're with either a person or a group of people surviving and moving across the country. But there would be no end to the means. I mean, at least in the original game, there was a focal point that could change the paradigm of the game. And that focal point happened to be a character. So in order for Part 2 to exist, she would have to be in the game, and there would or there would have to be someone in the game who was directly related to her. So
I just read the comments, and Marco Salvo.
Hey, Marco.
Said I'm scared because the sequels always ruin the series, and he's right. And I think that me and Marco trump you.
Yeah. Okay, you two tell that to BioShock Infinite, okay?
Are they making a sequel to that?
No, but BioShock Infinite was a sequel. I mean, think about it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know, it's the evolution of a game, and it all depends on who it is. You know, there have been sequels that have trumped the originals as well.
Yeah, but it's rare.
Yeah, it's rare.
That
but
cat behind you is getting down. That's good stuff.
Dexter, get down off that couch now. He's looking at me. My God. Dexter, get down off that couch.
Oh, get a little hot under the collar over here.
Oh, yeah. That happens whenever there's pussy on camera, huh? Oh, my God. Dexter. Yeah, that's Dexter. We named her after Dexter, the show that was good till the very end. Yeah, but like I said, there are some, things that come out that actually do good, but it has to be a unique and it has to be a special production studio that does it. And if there's anybody who could do it, honestly, it would have to be a company like Naughty Dog. And like they said, the story would have to be that good. So it's not a definite. I'd be excited just for an up-res version of the game, honestly. You can't go wrong with almost perfection. And as far as video games go, in today's age, as far as graphic, as far as the story and the dynamic, The Last of Us is about as perfect as it's going to get. So if they can just improve that by giving us PS4, Xbox One, well, it wouldn't be Xbox One graphics because it'd probably be 60 frames a second. But if they gave us a PS4 version of The Last of Us, hell, I'd be happy. I'd just do nothing but Let's Plays of that. I love that game. And they wouldn't necessarily have to do anything else. On Valentine's Day, I'm going to be in a pretty precarious situation because I'm going to, have to be deciding on whether or not I'm going to be wine and dining my girl or playing The Last of Us DLC.
All right, I already got this one worked out. Well, let me just make sure she's not listening. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spike her drink so she falls asleep early. Then I'll be here playing Last of Us.
Yeah, that's what you do. See, I'll just get Kate a really, really nice bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
And sit there and egg her on to drink the whole thing. She's done it before.
Have some Long Island iced teas.
Yeah, she actually drank almost a whole bottle of champagne one time when we were doing Beastly Thoughts. In 30 minutes, she drank it like it was Coke, and at the end, she was up dancing and shaking, but the guys couldn't see that, Of course, they were watching a video game, so who knows? What we're going to do, though, honestly, for Valentine's Day, and I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day. If you have a loved one out there and you guys have, the ability and time to spend together, I hope you enjoy yourself. And if not, I love you. But Kate and I are probably going to go hang out Saturday for Valentine's Day because my job restricts me from having any kind of real nightlife Monday through Friday. I'm usually baking in front of a furnace Monday through Friday. So Saturday we're probably going to go out and do something real nice.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah, because I have terrible hours. I have the worst hours in the American workforce. I work second shift, and if you guys are out there second shifters, you go in and you watch your day slowly drift away, I feel your pain, okay? And that's what I do Monday through Friday. So we're going to hang out probably on the 15th, and I hope you and Jan have a great, 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 great Valentine's Day, buddy.
Well, I'm sure we will. We won't be going out too much. We are trying to do everything we can to save money for the wedding at this point. So it's like, you know, it's funny. You skip all of the fun stuff for like a year, getting ready for this one party. I don't know, it's a little counterintuitive, but I'm not going to get into it because I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, you know, those are nuclear secrets. You don't give those away. My sister just came over here today and gave me her invitation. She's getting married in April. And see, luckily for us, we don't have to do that this year. I'm going to get a new SUV. I'm looking at an Explorer, you know, something nice for me, her, and all the kids. I want a really big 60-inch 1080p TV. You know, that's capable of 3D, something that it'll be mounted on the wall, smiling at me every time I come home. I'm getting some new furniture for her. And what else am I getting? I can't remember, but those are my only plans this year, and I'm going to save the rest.
I'll tell you what, if you're in the market for a TV right now, I'd jump on it because Panasonic has said that they're going to stop making plasma TVs. They're going to switch over to LCD only. And Panasonic right now makes the best TV you can buy. It's I can't remember the name of the specific model, but their plasma TVs right now are outstanding. They're the best TVs that have been made since like 2006 when Pioneer was still making the Kuro. So if you want one, I would jump on it in a hurry because those things are going to go and then they're not going to be available anymore.
Wow. Well, I'm talking about probably within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Next 2 weeks, everything should be done. You know, it's income tax time. And usually every time income tax time comes around, I got big, big plans. This time, you know, it's going to be a little bit more fun. I'll probably grab me an Xbox One. We were just in the car. I went to get the kids some lunch. I said, I'll probably grab an Xbox One next week. She said, why? There are no games for it. I said, well, there aren't really any games right now on a PS4 that I really need to have either, but because I told her I was either going to buy another PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. And for those who don't know, I didn't pay anything for my PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So it'd be my first time actually paying for a next-gen console.
I'll tell you what, there might not be anything available for the PS4, but the PS3 is killing it on PlayStation Plus right now. I can't keep up with the games that they're releasing. I just was playing this afternoon a little bit of Metro Last Light. It's a game I completely missed. Like it was on my radar screen, but you know I just didn't have time to get to it.
It's
and man,
awesome
I like
game.
That game.
It's awesome, and I have that game. I got it when it came out. Metro Last Light is one of the last-gen PS3 games. I mean, it came out during the end of the cycle, and that shit looks next-gen pretty much.
It looks great.
That game is awesome, man. I'm happy you get a chance to enjoy it. I got a huge PlayStation library. I mean, huge. If you name a game, I promise you, I probably got it on the PS3. But what else came out? I knew Metro Last Light came out. I didn't really mess with it because I already got the disc.
Yeah, I think we talked last week. Brothers came out. Borderlands 2. I think Metro Last Light is the big one for the week.
Yeah, I actually tried Brothers. I got to get back into it. It's so hard, man. I'm in between all these PlayStation Plus games. It's so damn hard to do because now I got Outlast. I got Brothers. I got, what's the other one? Don't Starve.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to play that. Kate really likes it. And then we got Call of Duty I'm trying to play. You know, I want to play Battlefield. I haven't played that since the last time I uploaded a video. And I feel like I got these hidden gems, these experiences that are so great, right? And all you got to do is put it in. But if you put that one in, you can't play the other experience. So it gets to the point where you just play whatever's in.
Yeah.
It usually is the same game for a week until someone swaps it out.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been doing the Let's Play of Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and I got to tell you, it's been kind of therapeutic for me because I'm committed to finishing the Let's Play, right? So when I have a little bit of gaming time, I play for an hour. I play for, I try and make 20-minute episodes.
20-minute videos, yeah.
Yeah, I try and play in 20-minute chunks, which works out pretty well. But it's motivating me to stick with the game as opposed to just jump to whatever like the newest thing is. So that Let's Play, not only am I getting to, share the joy I'm having with the game and have a good time, but it's also forcing me to play the game, which is awesome because I'm actually sticking with it and I'm going to finish it. I'm almost done with it now, and I'm getting to the point where I have to wait to play it because I've only got so much hard drive space for these videos to go on.
Well, see, I need to do that more often too. I want to do that with Outlast. Actually, that game is scary as hell, Brian Rabbit.
Yeah.
I don't know if the type of scare is the same as Slender, but it really is a creepy game. It's very foreboding, and I think I want to do that. And when you do a Let's Play, it gives you the discipline that you need to complete, because it's not just riding on you. Everybody else is depending on you to take them through this story. I saw you play an old game that I actually liked when it came out. I have this game too, Bulletstorm. How'd you like that?
Yeah, I like that game. The controls are a little wonky. It's got kind of like this. It's first-person shooter, but the controls feel very reminiscent of a third-person shooter, where the lock-on is really strong, but the aiming isn't super precise. So I like the game, and I like the over-the-top violence, and I like the hilarious things that come out of people's mouths in that game. But I wouldn't really rate it as a top-tier game. I kind of like a B game,
Yeah, I actually liked it. I didn't beat that game actually. When that game came out, it was so much other stuff. I'm trying to remember the game. It was it was a big muscular guy with like a mohawk, and he was like a game where he led this girl around. That came out around the same time, and I can't remember it. It's over there someplace. But I got into it maybe for 2 or 3 hours. I think I got it discounted. I got it used, and it was okay. It's one of those games like Brink. It's a new kind of game, and not many other games are like it. When you play it, you realize there's many other games that are much better.
Yeah, I like some of the mechanics though a lot, like the lasso technique and the way that it kind of gives you more points for comboing kills and that kind of thing is fun. If you got a little extra time, it's a slow period right now, so if you got a little extra time, you can pick that game up for like $8 or $9, and it's definitely worth that.
Hey, let me ask you a question. This guy's name is Brett Molina too. There's this game. My kids, of course, are playing it right now. It's called Flappy Bird. You heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
This game, of course, when I hear about this crap, I say, Brandon, what are you doing? Why are you playing these lame games? Dad, it's so fun.
Have you tried it?
I played it, yeah. And when I initially played it, I said, how do they get off ripping off Nintendo? Because the whole game looks like one of the birds from Nintendo, one of the fish from Nintendo that they turn into a bird, and the tunnels from Nintendo, and the background from Nintendo. But it appears that this guy, the creator of the game, is pulling the game in 22 hours.
Which is bizarre. The Verge reported that he's making like $50,000 a day from this game. So I gotta think that Nintendo has had a problem. Like Nintendo is threatening a huge lawsuit or something.
Yeah, that appears to be the issue. This is what the article on USA Today says. It says the brief ascent of Flappy Bird's peak this week as the game surged to the top of Apple's App Store and Google Play. The game features a small bird that players flew between green pipes, Mario, tapping the touchscreen to keep him airborne while the game's mechanics were simple. Moving through the pipes proved very difficult. During the interview with The Verge last week, this guy revealed he was making $50,000 a day from the ads displayed on the game. Jeez. However, recent tweets from his name is Nugent, or I can't pronounce that.
You can talk to 3 different people who have that last name, and they'll tell you 3 different ways to pronounce it.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah.
I've heard Gwyn, I've heard Nguyen, I've heard all sorts of different
Nguyen sounds better. Suggests the developer might have struggled with the newfound attention of his game that it was receiving. I don't think it's attention, though. Every person I've talked to about this and every place I've read is suggesting what you said, that Nintendo has either attempted to file a suit against this guy or threatened him to take everything he's got, because it's a blatant theft of Nintendo's likeness there. I mean, you got these tunnels, you got this bird, it looks like it's from Nintendo, and he's making big bucks off of it. Nintendo wants a piece of that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely, they're definitely stealing Nintendo assets there. So there's, he says it's not a legal issue, but it looks like one.
Man, I really want this game.
Have you tried it, though? The game is terrible.
Believe it or not, Brian Rabbit, I played the shit today. Okay, look,
yeah.
I was reading this article earlier today, And my son was right next to me as I was reading. He said, "Look, Dad, I'm playing it right now. My high score is 19." I said, "Well, it can't be that hard." I grabbed it. My score was 4. Did it again. My score was 3. I said, "Okay, I'm done." And that was it. It seems so repetitive and so it's like a no-brain game.
Yeah, the collision detection is terrible too. So it's like you get a little bit too close to those things, and sometimes it'll hit you.
Yeah, I'm not really a Android or iOS game player. It's like I got actual handhelds and stuff I prefer to do that on. Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I was talking already.
I can tell. I can see myself using those like new attachments that go on like the iPhone or the Android, where they actually put the controls like physical buttons on there. I could see myself doing that. You get a new cell phone every 2 years or so at this point, and that thing's constantly evolving. It's already in your pocket anyway. So as compared to something like this, the PlayStation Vita, where it's the second thing you got to carry around, I could see myself doing that as long as the games were as good.
Yeah, the game would have to be good, and usually the games aren't that great. That's the thing. Very seldom do you play a Android or iOS game that really stands up. But if it was a good game, and of course we're in this industry, we know about these games usually through word of mouth or through news. If it was really a great game and it had that peripheral, and you could hook up your PS3 controller, an Android controller, yeah, I'd probably give it a shot. But what are the chances of those kind of games coming out? They very seldom do.
Although I played the hell out of XCOM on my iPad. I thought that was actually a really great experience. I played a lot of that game.
Was that console quality?
It was close.
Really? I never even saw that on the
on a smaller screen. You can get away with lower resolution because everything's smaller. So, but it played really well. It ran really well, and it was super fun. XCOM is a great game. If you haven't checked it out, it's amazing.
I have both of them.
Yeah.
I get a lot of games used, tons of games used, and usually if it's something that I'm not really looking at the time, it'll sit on the shelf for months or years until I decide, hey, look, I want to try something new. I got more PS3 games than it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, you got a pile of shame, like games that you bought that you really wanted to play when you bought them, but you just never got around to it.
Or you just go and you're like, this game is fairly new, right? You're talking to the guy at the game exchange. This game came out, 6 months ago? Yeah, it's only $10, $15? Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab that. And then you go home and you sit next to the other 30 that you just bought, You're like, and it's just taking up space, man. Now, the PS4 and the Xbox One and the PlayStation 3 and the 360, there's a game coming out by the guys who made what the other zombie game. They actually created Dead Island. You remember Dead Island, right?
Yeah.
And they're making another game that seems really similar to it. I talked to you about it before. I don't know if you've ever seen the footage of it, but the footage that I've seen screams next gen. It really does. The footage looks like the announcement footage for Resident Evil 5. The actual game looks like that.
Wow.
And it's called Dying Light. And they, like I think I told you in the pre-show, they got some kind of announcement on the 11th concerning this game, and they're thinking it might be a demo. If it's a demo, I'm going to be a happy camper. If you guys have not seen Dying Light, check it out on YouTube. This game is going to be a must-have for people who are, like myself, fans of the zombie genre or fans of survival horror games. It looks really great. This article's on GameSpot. It's only a paragraph long, but it reads, the Dying Light YouTube channel was recently updated with a mysterious trailer telling us to prepare for February 11th on 2014. What exactly is it we're preparing for isn't clear. The game's Twitter account said it will be the day of trial for all humanity. And a post to the game's Facebook page says it will be our day of trial. This emphasis on the word trial has led some commenters to speculate this game might be to tease a demo of the game, but it could just be as easily a tease for a longer trailer, which would be pretty disappointing because the trailer that's out and the gameplay that's out, the footage is really long. So the fact that they're talking about this could be the day of trial, hopefully this is a demo for us, because I can't wait to play this game. I want to have this on the day it releases. It looks awesome. And if you guys haven't seen Dying Light, please check it out. I think it's going to be an amazing game.
I actually still have that game in my notes from last week because I wanted to check it out, but I never got around to it.
It's really, it looks really fun, and like I said, it's not just a flat terrain. when you're running from these things or trying to get places, you can jump up on a window, jump up on a roof, run, jump roof to roof. I mean, and it has a day-night dynamic where during the day these enemies are more docile, and then once the night hits, they become enraged, and they're after you. They'll run and climb up on roofs to get you. It's kind of like Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Oh, what a night!
That's right.
What a night to have a curse, that would come up at nighttime, and then the enemies became much harder, and there would be different types of enemies. And basically, if you weren't prepared, you're dead at nighttime. So it seems like they took that dynamic and they're running with it, and hopefully this game turns out to be great.
Is there any kind of like base building mechanic or anything so that at night you can hole up and kind of defend yourself, or
I haven't seen that. They from what I've seen, I've only seen melee, but I know that there is firearms in the game. What I've seen so far is this kick mechanic. When you get a lot of them around, you can kick them out of the way, and you're very fast. So as fast as the character that you are runs, it's pretty easy to get away from the hordes. They're like hordes, like Left 4 Dead in this game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of these things, and of course the game looks a hell of a lot better than Left 4 Dead, and it's on Xbox One, so there's no worries there. But it looks, these things are all over the place, and you're very fast, and it's pretty easy to outrun them. And but at nighttime, they're almost as fast as you. And there's different kind of enemies. There's the big swollen enemies, like in Left 4 Dead. There are the big there's a guy with a big tank on his back, and you can knock him over and hit the tank, and he'll explode and blow everybody up. It's kind of like Left 4 Dead, but it looks really great. And I'm just happy to see some PS4 and Xbox One games coming out they look like they're only for PS4 and Xbox One. Now the footage I'm talking about, you can tell it's not for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. There's no way. So I mean, I'm kind of eager to see how the last gen versions of the game look. I think it'll look better than their previous game. But at the same time, I think it'll definitely, not be as good as these next-gen versions. I'm looking at the screenshot right now. This game looks phenomenal, Briar Rabbit. I think it's going to be, a pretty big seller for these new systems.
All right, I'll have to check that one out. I've been really focusing on Tom Clancy's The Division. I was checking out YouTube videos of that actually yesterday, and saw kind of a hand camera, like on a movie screen type of video of it, and it was something new that I hadn't seen, and man, that game just is hitting me right where I live. Like the open worldness about it and the team play aspect, and it almost reminds me of what was that game called? Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, where I love those games. I thought those games were excellent. I thought they were probably my favorite games of the last generation. But this kind of has a similar feel to it, where you're in like a post-apocalyptic world, but now you've got like this team, and you're kind of using tactics, and man, I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I think it's really going to be something special.
Yeah, the game looks absolutely preposterous. It looks so good. It's something I'm looking forward to myself, honestly. I think that graphically, it's probably up there at least with Watch Dogs, at least.
Yeah.
If not better. The game looks photorealistic, Briar Rabbit.
Yeah, and have you heard this? Is that you can use your iPhone or your mobile device to control a drone and actually play in the same game that your friends are playing in. So you're actually playing along with your friends as a drone.
Wow.
Yeah, that's next gen, baby.
Hell yeah, that is. Jeez. Wow.
I mean, that's not, Call of Duty has an app where you can like change your character loadout. Who cares about that stuff? This game has an app where you can play along with your friends in the game that they're playing on the PS4 or Xbox One.
Yeah. It's going to be some amazing things coming for us gamers, man. This is going to be our year.
Yeah. 2013 was badass. I mean, we got BioShock Infinite, we got Last of Us, we got Tomb Raider, we got, what was that one with, I don't know. It was a really good year, but I actually think that 2014 is going to be even better.
Man, I mean, well, the fact that we got these new next-gen consoles and we've got such a bevy of games that we can come from moving forward. I mean, look what they're doing right now. They're already capitalizing on the games that came out on last gen that did well and porting them over to the new consoles just to make us feel good. I mean, those games were so good that just porting them over makes us already believe that 2014 is going to be the shit, and it's not even new stuff.
So this isn't an original idea, right? I've heard about this before. Other people have presented it. But what do you think about Infinity Ward or Activision releasing a new Call of Duty, but it's basically a re-release of COD 4.
Oh, like, wow.
All it is a straight port, but, you know, maybe they upgrade the graphics a little bit for the next gen. Yeah, but the gameplay, like all the gameplay stuff is the same as it was. They don't upgrade the guns, they don't upgrade the kill streaks, they don't upgrade the maps. It is the same game. Maybe they upgrade the graphics. I don't even care if they upgrade the graphics. But all this would serve to do was keep that game alive, because you can't play that game anymore. I mean, it's hacked to hell.
Yeah.
You know, and eventually they're going to turn those servers off, so you really won't be able to play that game.
Yeah, that's coming down the pipe for all these CODs, but I think it'd be a great idea to rehash it and, you know, to iron out all the kinks. Graphic upgrade, give me a fucking break. That game came on the Xbox One and the PS4. We'd be reliving those glory days of one of the greatest CODs. But honestly, personally, I think they should do it with all of them. This is something I talked to Kate about. I think they got something similar like to this in Japan that's actually out in Japan. I think it might be free to play, but I want a Call of Duty game with no story mode, no single-player mode, that has levels from every Call of Duty.
And Call of Duty Online.
Yeah, that has all these different Call of Duty levels, that some of the favorites. Doesn't have to be all of them, but we're on Blu-rays here, okay? We got a lot of space. Put a majority of the multiplayer maps from each game on one disc. Give us that experience. Give us next-gen graphics. Give us 60 frames per second. Don't change shit. We want the actual kill streaks from that particular game, or maybe we can go into settings and change it and add kill streaks from another game to a particular level. It will add a whole new dynamic, and I think they're not going to do it right now because they're making so many Call of Duty games. But I think every 10 years they should give you a Call of Duty Decade Edition. You know, that has cool. levels from the last 10 years of Call of Duty games, the fan favorites. Maybe people go online and vote. Maybe 30 levels, 35 levels, 40 levels from the Call of Duty games of the last decade, graphically superior to the way they were when they were released, and you can actually go into the options or go into certain lobbies that have certain restrictions or certain kill streaks, certain modes.
Do like servers like on Battlefield 4 where you can actually have your own server and make the rule set for your server. Like this server is going to be COD 4. You know, let's say no frag times 3.
Yeah.
To completely customize it to make the perfect COD 4.
What do you viewers think about that? I know you're there, Marco. What do you think about that kind of idea of maybe a Decade Edition Call of Duty game? Do you think, of course, it would sell? I think it might sell better than the CODs that are coming out. You know,
it would be filled with the most beast-ass COD players too. Because if there's no single-player game in a Call of Duty, then you're not getting those people who bought it for the single player and just said, "Oh, I'll check out this multiplayer, see how I do," and get wasted for a year. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
It would be. I mean, it would be a competitive game.
Of course, I'd be there, and I know you'd be there smiling.
Yeah.
Because I'd be known as the Beastly Gamer, but you'd be beasting everybody in the damn server. You know? I had a game yesterday, Brian Rabbit, and I gotta say, I thought about you at the end of this game. I haven't uploaded it yet, guys, but I'll probably upload it today when I got some stories I want to cover. But I had a 20-5, man. I was like, Brian Rabbit has shined upon me, right? I mean,
I had a game on Bayview. I think I put this out like a week ago, where I was absolutely going crazy, right? I was having one of those like once in a lifetime moments where every gunfight was going my way. At one point, I think it was like 36-5, and then it got into my head, and I completely fell apart at the end. So I ended up like 40-10 or something like that. So the KD wasn't great, but it was like it was a team deathmatch. So there's only like 75 possible kills, and I had gotten like 2/3 of them.
Damn. I found that I didn't play Call of Duty for a while. I was playing my PC, you know that. And then when I went back to Call of Duty Ghosts, I sucked ass. I was like, what's going on here? And Kate was looking at me like, it's okay, babe. I said, no, it's not. This is ridiculous. I mean, I was getting wore out. It took maybe about 2 hours of playing for me to kind of get back into my grind, get my mojo back. But usually I always do better. I always have a lot more kills than my deaths. I don't pride myself as the pride of Call of Duty. I'll leave that to gamers like yourself. But normally I do pretty good. You know, I might normally have 17 kills, maybe 8, 9, 10 deaths. That's pretty much my average. Sometimes I have games that aren't going my way and I quickly back out of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's all. I mean,
if I don't play for a few days, if I go for a long weekend away with Jan, or God forbid I don't play for like a week, it takes me a bit of time to get back into it. You know, just like I don't know if it's so much the physical like thumbstick control as it is like the mental state of just like that hyper awareness and being aware of like where everything is around you, because there's like a predictive thing that you need in that game to really win gunfights. You have to be like a step ahead of everybody you run across, and that can be hard.
I always see it as, you know, it's always a one-on-one battle with me. I predominantly play team deathmatch, guys. And if you guys don't know who I am on PlayStation Network, I am the real BeastlyGamer Dash. Send me an invite, we'll play together. But whenever I see a person, I always completely block out everyone else in the game. And for that millisecond, it is a OK Corral, you know, Wyatt Earp, you know, moment where I got to pull out quicker than they pull out, and then I pull out and I shoot them or they kill me. And it's always like that. And so I kind of...
Beastly, the pull-out method does not work.
Yeah, well, tell me about it. I got 4 kids. Oh, man, look, all joking aside, though, right? This woman loves me to death. She's already planning the next kid. Nina's only 1. I'm looking at her like, how much overtime do you think I need? You know, but I love her to death. But yeah, it's always that moment. It always comes down to that. What's the word I'm looking for? I segment my thoughts when I'm playing a game. And that moment where I'm playing someone or I'm playing against somebody, they see me, I see them, nothing else matters. I decompartmentalize. That's the word. It took a little second. It was now loading. And when it comes down to, you know, that moment where I'm against somebody else, I always try to get them first. It usually works out. My hand-eye coordination is pretty damn good. Maybe not as good as yours, Briar Rabbit.
I don't know. I'm an old man. The only reason
get out of here.
I can work at a COD is just because I've been playing it so long that I know like traffic patterns. I know where to find the baby buffalo.
Oh, okay. Get the hell out of here. Oh man, I think you and I are about the same age. My birthday's March 12th, so you'll have your time.
I'm March 15th. And,
awesome.
I also read in the comments. I'm pretty sure Marco's a March baby too.
Oh, we got a room full of Pisces here. No wonder we're all in happy relationships because we're romantics.
That's right. But we're all going to be bumming during Titanfall.
You know what? Kate always tells me, she says, it's so weird. She said, you're like the most sweet guy I've ever known, but you're not romantic at all. And I'm like, really? You know, I thought I was doing something special. Maybe it's because I asked her for romantic ideas, you know? What do you think would be nice to do? Yeah, I want to give you that kind of freedom, baby.
Yeah, I want to know what makes you happy.
Yeah, you know, you gotta play it. You gotta play it, you know, a little bit to your best, to your benefit. You guys know how it is. Hey, man, have you been playing any Battlefield lately?
No, I haven't. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that there's only so much time in the day.
I can't do it. Yeah, man. Honestly, I've been really wanting to play it. I wanted to play it yesterday. You know, my older brother, I don't know what happened to him, Briar Rabbit. Joe and I, we grew up together. He's 17 months older than me. We played all the games. We learned how to play all the fighting games together. And I remember I worked my ass off. I was working occupational work adjustment in middle school. I bought Donkey Kong Country. We played it. We beat them all, right? I grew up, and we moved away from each other. And now he doesn't do anything but push-ups. I mean, I'm not talking about the ones that come on the ice cream truck.
That's not a very fun video game.
You know, he works out a lot, and he's married. And when I came back to Georgia from Ohio, I talked to him. I said, "So, Joe, what have you been playing?" He said, "I don't really play games that much anymore." I want to say, "Brother, what has she done to you?" You know,
I've been playing six-pack abs, bitch.
Yeah. He's got those giant guns, man. You know, you guys think I'm a big dude. My older brother, he's shorter than me, but he's just as wide. He's a big muscle head. But yeah, I'm trying to get him back into the games. And I wanted to show him that last night. I showed him Slender. I showed him Outlast. His mind was blown because he never really saw a PS4 game. He's never seen one in person. And when he's on YouTube, I think he's looking at protein shakes or something. But when he finally came over and saw some of these PS4 games, his mind was blown. And so I'm like, Joe, go ahead and grab yours. I think either I want to get a PS4 or a Wii U.
What? No.
Briar Rabbit, I swear.
Wii U, that is a doomed console.
Okay, listen. my brother is going to watch this. I don't know if he is right now. But if you could give my older brother Joe any advice on the Wii U versus the PlayStation, go. Just give it.
There's no purpose in buying a Wii U right now. It is a dead console. Nintendo has all but said they're going to stop supporting it and put out a new console in the next couple of years. So don't buy a Wii U. You'll be regretting that decision very quickly. A PlayStation 4 has plenty of legs, and a PC has plenty of legs. I'm not a PC gamer myself, but it's a far better decision than trying to buy a Wii U to play video games on.
I could have said it better myself, Brian Rabbit, but sometimes it takes hearing it from somebody else.
And an Xbox One will hook up to your TV. It comes with a Skype camera.
Yeah, Joe, you can watch the ESPN bodybuilding tournament. Xbox One, watch biceps. You know?
That's right. You can talk to your brother on Skype.
Yeah. I don't want that Connect watching me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Kate wants to do that, actually. Kate's sister, she works at a hospital in Ohio, and they actually bought the PlayStation 3 last year. And they've had a 360 for a while, but she got a PlayStation 3 because I don't know where my PlayStation Eye is at, but we had a PlayStation Eye. And so we were showing her the capabilities of it. They went and got a PlayStation Eye, and they do video chats on the PlayStation Eye every now and then. Mm-hmm. And, too bad that the PlayStation 4 doesn't have that kind of capability.
I think it will soon.
I don't think that the camera is, well, then again, the camera is pretty good, Brian Rabbit. Do you have the PlayStation?
The camera's great. I've used it. I have one that's sitting above my TV. It's great.
Yeah, you got them both right next to each other, man. You've watched from all angles. You know what? This is something I told my buddies last year, or it was the year before. I think it was 2012, 2011. A lot of people, and you guys let me know what you think about this idea, whether or not I should write Sony about it, and perhaps get residuals from this idea. The PlayStation... I see you, right, Rabbit. The PlayStation Eye has a great name, and it does a lot of stuff, right? But I was thinking of creating something called the PlayStation Spy, S-P-Y, like Spy versus Spy. And this could be a device or a program you download to your PlayStation 3/PlayStation 4, right? And this application can kick on whenever there's movement in front of your camera. Like, say, for instance, you have your PlayStation 4 in sleep mode, but you do have your PlayStation Spy connected or turned on in the system. And if there's movement in your living room, your camera will kick on, and it'll download video directly to a Sony server that you actually own or you're logged into. So maybe you get 2 or 3 gigs of space every month, or you might have 4 gigs. It'll be like a Sony email account, but it's for video. And during that time, anything that's being videoed gets directly downloaded to Sony. So if your house is vandalized and you're not at home...
Brett, what do you think Kate is doing while you're not at home?
Go there, man. I know she loves walking around. She loves having a gun in the house. She's so tiny. But imagine that, though, right? You got this service that downloads video directly to a Sony server, and you have access to whether or not your PlayStation gets stolen or not. Say, for instance, your stuff gets stolen. You log into the PlayStation server from a computer or from another location. Yeah. And you're able to access that video, what happened up until the moment your PlayStation got turned off. And I think it would be a great idea. Of course, there's going to be some dubious video that's going to be uploaded, but of course, it would be at your discretion whether or not. Yeah, it was just me going to bed. All right, yeah. But think about what that could actually do. It could save people a lot of money. It could put a lot of bad people away for breaking into people's homes and potentially hurting someone, killing someone, stealing things from people. I think it'd be a great service. I think Sony should. Or Microsoft. Microsoft is probably better suited to do it because they're the evil empire, but they're just like Walmart. No, I'm just kidding. But I think that one of these companies should implement something like that for people who want to have that kind of service, where they can have their system.
They just had like some kind of nanny cam app, that uploads to a server that you can run when you want to, but you don't have to run it if you don't.
Yeah, or they could just kick on if there's motion. They can have an app that they release updates that notice pets in your house. They know it's a cat. They know what to look for in a particular area. But if there's a person or a sizable movement, it kicks on and automatically uploads directly to the server. I think it'd be a great idea. Back years ago, I used to drink, guys. And I used to come up with great ideas. I may have smoked a little back then too. Who knows? But yeah, I always thought that'd be a good idea, and I thought it would save people a lot of potential anguish. And there's my beastly idea for the day, everybody.
The Apple universe has has something very similar to that. You use Find My iPhone to not only like find your iPhone or your Macintosh computer, but if you turn that on your Mac, it'll take a picture of whoever's using it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, Kate has the Mac. You know, I got the new HP NV15 that I'm not going to close today. But
come on, show us the keyboard.
No, we're not going to do that today, Brian Rabbit. But yeah, for you guys who don't know, I think it was episode 5. I know we had Fitquank on there, and at the end of the episode, I just got my new laptop. I'm so happy about it, and they said, "Well, just show us what the keyboard looks like." And here I am, being the Beastly Gamer. I'm closing the computer to show them with the camera, and Beastly Gamer is gone. And that's exactly what happened. I came back, you guys are still rolling laughing at me.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Terrible.
I'd like to get Fitco back on. He was a great guest.
Oh, yeah, he was fantastic. I wish COD made it back. I don't know if he knows how to get back in or not. I think right before he left, I heard a dog bark. I don't know if his dog...
Yeah, I heard that too earlier before you joined the pre-show too. His dog actually ran out of the house, so hopefully he's okay. I'm sending him an invite again.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in. I know I talked to him last week, and basically he told me he wanted to be back on the show. He sent me a message. For some reason, my Google Plus messages go to Kate's phone. I feel so abused. And whenever I get a message, she says, "Hey, baby," I'm like, "Can't come to my phone." But well,
I was gonna Twitter message you today, but
okay.
Something went wrong with that.
Oh, okay. Well,
I couldn't find your Twitter. Do you have a Twitter account?
Yes, I do. I do.
Oh, okay. I couldn't find it.
It's the Beastly Gamer. I'll email it to you. Okay.
All right.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, The Last of Us DLC is coming out. I know you're going to be playing it. Do you have any? We pretty much know what's going to happen here with this DLC. What can they do with this DLC that'll make it exceed our expectations? Now, Naughty Dog came out and said this DLC is actually very sizable. It's going to be pretty long. It won't be like the Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain 2-hour DLC.
2-hour DLC. That's baloney.
It's going to actually be, something that's a sizable DLC that, people can really sink their teeth into. And I'm like, I'm thinking, we already know Ellie told this story of her and her friend during the game of The Last of Us. What can they do that's really going to change anything or make this more exciting? Of course, we love these characters. We want to see what they're going to go through. But are they going to throw some kind of twist in there or what? I mean, are you going to play as Ellie the entire time? It's just, my mind is wondering.
I didn't like the part where I had to play as Ellie in the first game.
Are you out of your mind?
No, I didn't dig it.
No.
Like, I was so used to being Joel and being like badass, and then all of a sudden I was Ellie. I don't know. It didn't feel real to me. Like killing all those people as Ellie, it didn't feel right to me for some reason. I didn't like it.
You can't. You gotta take that back right now, sir.
No, I won't do it. If there's one thing I don't like about that game, I thought the combat was a little iffy.
Believe it or not, I thought who agrees with me? Who thought that the Ellie part of the game was the best part? I thought it was. And the truth of the matter is, men, we fight, we punch, we kick, we like to, take big hits. But the reality of it is, women are very vicious. Have you ever seen a woman fight? They nails and they'll pull hair out and they'll do all. And Ellie, during her scenes where she was fighting these people, she encapsulated that thing that women have. That women are like wild. When she was stabbing people, it looked like someone getting shanked in a prison. It wasn't like stab, you're down. She was And I really felt like this is the way a woman would be if they were trying to survive and fighting for their life. And I thought it was fucking great. I mean, to me, her moment in the snow portion of that game was by far the best part of that game for me.
Wow. I like what it did for her storyline because it kind of reversed their positions, right? It's like, Joel had been the cynical one up to that point, and then all of a sudden it was Ellie that was cynical, and Joel was trying to cheer her up. But I didn't, I don't know. The combat for me in that game wasn't as awesome as it could have been, and playing as Ellie for the combat, it just was. For me, it was the weakest point of that game.
Oh.
I like the story part. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact that I like the storyline of that town. I just didn't like playing. I didn't like the combat as Ellie. It didn't feel right. It was like the same combat as Joel, but you're a 13-year-old girl instead. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to each his own. I mean, most of the people I've talked to about this game, And many reviewers said the same thing, that portion of the game was their favorite. And playing as her, honestly, I was pissed off when I woke up and I was her. When I was walking to hunt the deer, after she got the rabbit. I was like, oh God, I gotta play as this girl now. She's been annoying and talking back and forth the whole game. Now I gotta play as her. What's going on with Joel? But when I took control of her and the story took the turns it took during that portion of the game, it was amazing to me. I mean, I really felt it with her the same way I did with Joel. And then when they came back together, I was like, who am I going to play as now? Is it going to be her or Joel? I mean, the game was just, it was a perfect 10 for me.
Too about that is, do you remember Tomb Raider? There was that big outcry about how there was this meta almost rape scene in that game.
Yeah.
And then you got the same thing in Last of Us. It was worse because she's a child.
Yeah, well, the thing is, with The Last of Us, they left that to your imagination. Of course, the scene where he tried to rape her, Troy Baker, when he was talking about the game, he said that there was a scene where Ellie was going to be raped. But during the game, when you play through that portion of the game, it's not mentioned until after that particular moment, and she looks at Joel and says, he tried to, and that's all she says. She doesn't say he tried to rape her or anything. Of course, we're adults, and we see a very bad situation with this girl and this crazy guy who knows he wants to eat her. So that's one of the things he probably would do too, try to take advantage of her and rape her, and see more than likely at the point where he found out that he had already been infected. Spoiler. But I don't think it'll spoil too much because people don't know too much on it. But at that moment, what did he have to lose? Who would he take his frustrations out on at that point?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, the game was just great. That part of the game, I don't think it was too vulgar. I got girls.
No, I'm not saying it was vulgar. I'm not saying it was I thought it was perfect for the story. I thought that was a real turning point for the character, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But I was just surprised at the outrage over the Tomb Raider stuff, and then there was nothing about the Last of Us. Similar situation.
People get pissed off at Lara Croft. They love Joel and Ellie, though.
I'm having a good time with Lara Croft, to be honest with you. I'm really enjoying that game. I'm going to finish my playthrough on normal, and I'm going to play it again on hard because the combat is so much fun in that game. Well, I love that bow.
I didn't play it on hard. I thought the bow mechanic was probably the best part of the whole game.
Yeah.
That was the thing I loved the most. Maybe I'll go ahead and give it a shot on hard. But now that the definitive version is out, I don't want to play it on the PS3 anymore. The hell with that last-gen bull stuff.
What? Come on, you got all that YouTube money. You can afford it?
Oh, really, Briar Rabbit? Really? Really? Like that, huh? I do pretty well, buddy. It's not YouTube money. I do YouTube because I actually love YouTube, guys. I love the community. I found a new brother in you, Briar Rabbit, and our subscribers and fans. They mean a lot to me. YouTube is not paying the bills, guys. No. I am. I pay everything. I buy all my own stuff, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
One day when that
There's a reason I got 2 jobs.
Yeah.
It's not because I love them.
In order for you to keep up this kind of lifestyle, you've got to be able to generate your own revenue, and you can't really depend on anybody else. And, for guys looking at me and like, man, he's got all these games and stuff. No, I don't sell drugs. I work really hard every day, Monday through Friday. I got a good job, and I'm a family man, and I buy my games. I mean, everyone has their vices. Some people, like I said, they like to get baseball cards. Some people buy comic books. Some people, they collect champagne. It could be anything. Whatever your vice is, let it be that. Mine just happens to be video games. I am a gamer to the core. I am the Beastly Gamer. You guys see that? I live this life. This is what I represent every day. And so when I have my time to play my games or buy my games, hey, baby, I saw that ass on the corner of my eye. Woo! But, YouTube isn't doing anything for me right now, guys, besides giving me an outlet to reach you guys and to talk to my good friend Briar Rabbit here every week. And we're going to continue to do this every week just for the fact that we have people who enjoy this. It means a lot to us. If you guys ever have any comments and you want to post them, go ahead and post them in the comment section. If you have any topics you want us to cover, be sure to post that as well if you want our input on anything going on in the gaming world. And also, if you guys ever want to be a guest on this show and you have a webcam, you have a camera that you can hook up and get in here with us and talk and give your own ideas, we welcome all comers. You know, as long as you got something to contribute, you like to talk about video games, we love to have any of you guys, and that's just coming from me and Brian to you.
I would like to open the show up to a lot more people. I like having more people on the show. I think it adds to the conversation. And, you know, even if you don't have a YouTube channel, I don't think that really means that you don't have something to say. So, absolutely, if you have any interest in being on the show, let us know. Let us know down in the comments. Send us a private message on YouTube. You know, we'll get you in here. Now's the time, right, when the show has no, you know.
And now's the time. I mean, look, it's like this. Right now, if you don't have a YouTube channel, absolutely fine. If you've never uploaded a video, absolutely fine. If you have a passion about video games, or if it's something you like to do, if you like us as hosts and you want to be on the channel, send myself or Briar Rabbit a private message, leave a comment, let us know. This is how it normally works. Briar Rabbit normally sends out the invites, so if you want to be definitely on the show, get in touch with him and let him know. I can do it too, but usually this show has to come through one hub, and it's been easier at this point with it coming through Briar Rabbit's hub. So let me know, let him know. If we can get every box down here filled up and have multiple personalities, multiple ideals on what's going on out here, it'd be great. I mean, I love to have a plethora of people, a plethora of, you know, conflicting personalities or people who don't all agree, because that makes the best kind of TV. It makes the best kind of environment. You learn a lot if everyone doesn't agree, because it opens your mind to possibilities that you may not know about.
I completely agree with you.
You guys, let us know for sure. If you guys want to be on the show with us, we're here every single day. Every Sunday at 6, I'll be here, unless I'm in a box somewhere. And I ain't talking about underground. I'm talking about like Metal Gear Solid Snake. I'll be in a box. You guys let us know. And we'll definitely love to have any of you guys are here to talk. We got plenty of people who leave comments, you know, all the time talking to us. But if you want to be on the show, definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's hard to get guests on the show because the only way I can contact them is, unless they have a Twitter, like a link to their Twitter in the description of some of their videos, the only way I know how to contact them is through private message on YouTube. And if they're anything like me, they don't really look at those too often because they're so hidden away in YouTube.
I've never read one. I've never read one private message on YouTube. I've only read things in my comment section. That's it.
Yeah, it's hard to get a hold of people. You know, Twitter makes it a little bit easier, but even then, it's got to be public until you're both following each other. You know, so it's difficult. So, you know, if you got anybody you'd like to see on the show, let them know. If you'd like to be on the show, let me know. I do check my private messages just because of this show. I check them almost once a day. So let us know.
Now, I want to ask you a question, Briar Rabbit.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to be playing Titanfall on the Xbox One.
Damn straight.
Now, they delayed the Xbox 360 version. Do you have any idea why?
Yeah, I think it's because it's being developed by another developer, and those developers have to wait to see what the main developers are doing, and then have to copy that onto the Xbox 360, which is probably a pretty difficult feat. I wouldn't be surprised if that version of the game is very compromised.
Oh, wow. I mean, well, you mean, of course, graphically and probably as far as frame rate, more than likely. There's a lot going on in that game. It's not like just a typical first-person shooter. I mean, your typical first-person shooter, you have an arena, you have characters that are all usually pretty much in the same size and scope. But this here changes that whole conundrum because you got these giant mechs on top of these characters. And you got characters that are straight across, jumping up and down. It just seems
big
like it's
arenas.
it seems like it's going to be really hard for them to reduplicate that same experience on the 360. I mean, look at the difference we have with Battlefield 4 on the Xbox One and the 360. It's a huge difference. And same with the PS4 and the PS3. It's a big difference. So Titanfall for the Xbox One is already going to be 6 versus 6 with a lot of non-player characters. I wonder if that's going to be compromised on the 360 version. Do you think?
I suspect it will. I don't know what that integration with the Microsoft Cloud is going to be with Titanfall for the 360, but I gotta suspect that it's going to be somewhat compromised. I mean, obviously we know graphics are going to be lowered, but will the gameplay and will the map size be the same? Will the same amount of characters be in the game? That's all stuff that's going to be important on the Xbox One and the PC. But I don't know if they'll be able to do it with the 360 because that game is clearly being developed for PC and the Xbox One primarily, and they have a second developer for the 360, and those guys have to make it fit. You know, that's their job. It's like do the best you can to make it the same game.
Now, all the footage I've seen of Titanfall appears to be at least PC footage or Xbox One footage. I don't think I've ever seen any 360 footage, even though the game is coming out March 28th. I mean, it's a month and a half away, right?
Yeah, why would you show that, though? I wouldn't show it. It'd be like advertising Call of Duty and showing the Wii footage. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
you're trying to get people excited about the game, not show off the lowest common denominator.
That's going to be, a big deal, though, because they're going to sell a lot more copies of it on the 360 than they are on the Xbox One. And all those people playing the 360 version, when they put it in, they're going to say, this is not what I saw. This is not the same thing. And we're going to be talking about it that week. You and I. It's going to be a big deal in the news how pissed off the Xbox 360 community is because they're going to have a shell of a game that's been shown for the PC and the Xbox One now for months.
You know, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that, but from the eye of the consumer, don't you know already that you're getting a somewhat compromised experience? If you're getting a game that's ported from a higher level console, it's like buying Call of Duty for the Wii. You know you're getting a compromised experience just because it's the Wii. And I assume that you would know that with the Xbox 360 too. I guess if
No, I guess it all depends though, because when you see the Titanfall commercials, it doesn't say necessarily, all of them don't say Xbox One. It just says Xbox, you know. And so when people see that Xbox sign, they're like, okay, I got a 360, I'm going to get it on my Xbox. And everyone isn't as tech savvy as we are. A lot of people don't know, what they're getting in a box. They'll see a commercial and they'll take that as false advertising. And there's going to be a huge group of people who are going to take it that way. This is not the same thing I saw. This is slower. It only has 4 versus 4. It doesn't look the same. The levels are smaller. I saw it at Best Buy on the Xbox One, and that's what I saw in the commercial. I think it could be potentially an issue. Now, of course, I'm going to be playing on the PC. I mean, to me, that's just a possible issue. And more than likely, it's a non-issue because it's still going to sell millions of copies of it on the Xbox 360. And I'm sure many, many people on the 360 are going to have a ball with the game, So it is what it is.
As long as it plays well, it should be okay. It's got to be. I mean, obviously we know the graphics aren't going to be as good. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't care, I guess. I'm getting it for the Xbox One. I just saw in the comments, and I'm definitely going to get it for the PC. After the wedding, I'm planning on getting a new PC, and I've kind of narrowed it down to getting a Mac Pro, running boot camp on that so I can run PC games, and I'll definitely be running Titanfall on that.
You're getting you get a Mac Pro, man?
Yeah.
That YouTube money, man. You tell me about that YouTube money, now I know it must be real.
Yeah, there's nothing like making like $2 to $3 a day.
Those computers, man. Kate, she keeps telling me she wants one, but they start off at $3,000.
Yeah, I use the computer a lot during the day, though, not just for YouTube, but for both of my other jobs. And my computer is a 2010 MacBook Pro, and I've been doing the Tomb Raider. They're 20-minute videos, right, for the Tomb Raider Let's Play, and it takes a good 6 hours to get those things up on the internet. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've been saving money for the wedding, but once that wedding's over.
You gotta say that again. Hold on. You mean for the entire hour?
6 hours. No, for 20-minute video, it takes me about 6 hours to get that thing up.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's it. Including render time and upload time. My internet connection's not that hot either.
Wow. Wow. I guess I gotta count my blessings. This new laptop, it took me to render it in 1080p for YouTube. I think it took for a half-an-hour video. It took 55 minutes.
Yeah.
And it took about another hour and 30 minutes to upload it. So I'm looking at 2.5 hours, but still. Wow.
Yeah. I got a 2010.
You upload a lot more videos than I do too,
Well, I have it spaced out throughout the day. So I go to work. Right before I go to work, I hit render. And then when I go to bed, right before I go to bed, I hit render. So the computer's working when I'm not.
Wow.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to record because my computer always be busy rendering.
Well, they say this Mac Pro, it's able to do Pixar quality rendering and stuff. It's really very powerful. They're saying basically, if you have that computer, you need to be creating films or be doing CG type of work, creating stuff. So Man, you're gonna be awesome, man. I want to see all the, Briar Rabbit show gonna
Trash
spin
can, bro.
around and.
I tell you, I have a lot more ideas that I could make videos for. So if I could spend less time with my computer, just waiting for my computer to finish, I'd be a lot happier.
Now, I wanted to announce this. I just thought about it when I said the picture spinning around. There's going to be a new series on my show now. It's probably going to be a weekly thing, but it's going to be starring my daughter.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering, who's that jerk who keeps taking up Nova's...
Yeah, uploading on Nova's channel. Yeah, I saw that. Now, Kate already made the intro for it, and the show is going to be called Nova Knows Best.
Yeah.
Because she's been really bugging me, Brad. People say, man, you should let your daughter do videos all the time. I'm like, well, I don't really want her to, be doing this kind of stuff. She's 3 years old, but every time I upload a video, she's standing right there at the bottom of my light looking at me. She says, Dad, you did such a good job. I say, oh, thanks, baby. Can I do one? And she's been wanting to do one for so long. She's so excited about it. So I'm thinking I'll let her do either a review or some video game news once a week. But her show is going to be called Nova Knows Best. You guys be sure to check it out. I think today I'm going to upload her intro so you guys can see what that looks like. Put a smile on your face for the day.
Yeah.
And, Nova has this thing. If you're having a bad day, you can just look at her and listen to her little voice, and it'll be. They should put her video in all the prisons for the death row inmates as they walk down the, the Green Mile to the chair. They can have her video, and by the time they get to the chair, they're like, man, it's okay, man. I feel all right. Let's go do this. Nova has this energy about herself that's kind of electrifying, and she's a sweet little girl. So she's going to be on the Beastly Gamer channel doing her own thing.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, my son, he asked me, he said, hey, Dad, can me and Brennan do our own show?
Mm-hmm.
I said, sure, son. What's it going to be about? He said, I don't know. I said, we're going to have to do some thinking about this. All right?
Yeah. My kids, they got excited about it when I first started doing it, and I kind of encouraged them. We'll start a channel. We got them accounts and stuff, but they didn't really. It was the work part. They didn't want to put in the work, I think.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be very burdening to know that, hey, it's been 3 or 4 days. I haven't uploaded a video, and then you got to do your research, and then you got to look for something that's entertaining. Then you got to match it to pretty good footage, right? Then you got to upload it and watch the sparks fly. It becomes a job, guys. I mean, I know a lot of people say, man, these big channels, these guys are making all this money. They're making all this money because they're doing a lot of work. Briar Rabbit is doing a lot of work. Doing this kind of stuff, I'm doing a lot of work. I haven't seen anything for it yet, and that's just the reality of it. But I'm not doing this because I want something out of it at this point. I feel like this. If something good comes of this, that's more of a blessing. But if it doesn't, at least I lived my dream.
You gotta like it.
This is my dream, to be able to do this, talk to you guys, and share my lifestyle. I love this shit. You see the Buster Sword behind me? That's the real thing, man. I love gaming. And so this is a part of my life. I'm happy I can share it with you guys.
The dude literally has a 6-foot-long blade.
Yes,
and a keyblade next to it.
Yeah, you guys see it. They're the real deal. My brother, he flipped out yesterday when he came in the house, and he had never seen it. He said, Brett, can I hold that? I took it down. Yeah, oh, my brother, you got to buy your own, I took it down, and his mind was blown, man, and it is what it is. Some people say, hey, look, man, you got to mature up. I work hard to take care of my family. I work every day. I think I am more of a man because I'm doing something that I love to do. So if you guys love this kind of stuff, embrace it. Don't let anybody tell you it's wrong, tell you that you're not doing the right thing. I think you only live this life once. As long as you're a positive person, you care about people, there's nothing wrong with living your dream. And this is mine. I'm happy you guys are here with me.
Me too.
Yeah. Same with you, Briar Rabbit. We both are very like-minded people. You love to do this kind of stuff. You love gaming. You're very passionate about it. You brought your family into it because you guys share, you share a dream. And I'm the same way, man. It's like you and I truly are brothers. You think more like me in this thing than anybody I've met, and I'm very, very happy and privileged to do Beastly Thoughts with you every week. I think it's great.
I was telling Jan this the other day. One of the greatest things about the YouTube channel so far has been meeting you and being able to do this podcast every week, meeting Figco Inc., meeting Get Punked. This is a really fun thing to do. And this particular show, is probably the most fun I have all week as far as the YouTube channel goes, because the least amount of work I have to do for a video.
Well, I mean,
but it's also I get to talk about all this stuff I love, and it's totally an open conversation. And I'd really like to get more guests involved too, because I think that would just add to it.
Okay, guys, this is an open letter from Beastly Gamer and Briar Rabbit. You guys have heard us say it before. Let's get this together. I want to get 4 guests for next week's show. I want 4 guests. I want to act like an evangelist. I want 30 people to give me $200. No, I'm just kidding. I want.
Wait, $200 each or $200 total?
Listen, man, I swear, this guy, I forget, I was at River of Life Church years ago, and it was I call him a pimp, because God didn't need money, Jesus didn't need money, but he came into the church, and he was a new pastor, and he came from another church. He said, who got this faith in here? My grandma, she's big in the faith. She passed away the year before last. He said, who in here got faith? And she's like, oh, Lord Jesus. He said, I want 20 people in here to give $100. It was a church full of people, and they got 20 people to donate $100 to this guy's church. And I was thinking, golly, that's a nice car. Right? I was a kid. And when I asked the pastor, I said, I'm just curious. I said, Jesus gave people stuff. I said, he gave people, he fed people and stuff with 2 fish and a loaf of bread, right? I said, why do you guys need money? And the new pastor, he looked at me and said, this one here got the devil in him. he walked over to me and just grabbed my hand, started shaking it. I was looking at Grandma like, I can't believe you let this happen. But listen, I want to see if we can do this. And if we don't, that's fine. But I want to see if we got 4 people out there who are like-minded. And you don't have to do this every week. But if you think that you can hang with the Beastly Gamer and Briar Rabbit and we can talk a little bit, share your thoughts on whatever happens this week, do your research this week, check out the news that's coming out in the video game world this week, send us a message and have you on next Sunday at 6 o'clock, I think that'd be great. You guys let us know.
I'm not going to lie to you, though. It can be hard to get your voice heard edgewise with the 2 of us trying to talk, We both, we're YouTubers, right? We've devoted a channel where we just talk and talk and talk. And you put us in a room together or on a chat together, and we're both talking a lot. So don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to interrupt. Get your point out there, because it's going to be, we're going to talk.
The thing is,
that's going to happen.
I've only been YouTubing now, I think about 3.5 months, honestly. It's been a short ride, but I've always been this me. No matter what I've done, I've always been the talkative guy. And of all my 7 brothers and sisters, I was always the one that yapped all day long, right?
Yeah.
If you come on the show and you don't have much to contribute, we're not going to be upset about it, but we're going to fill that air.
Yeah.
I know Briar Rabbit and we can tell when it gets quiet in here, because it's between he and I. So every few seconds you might hear a brief pause, but during that brief pause, there's something in the back of our mind saying, there's a pause here. We need to talk about something. And it just becomes a part of, it's a natural reaction to YouTubing and talking to people. You got to build interest, and you've got to keep things rolling. So if you guys think you can, if you're a Pisces like us, that might help. But, send us a message. Come on in. Talk. Don't be afraid to interrupt. Don't be afraid to say, listen, I object.
Yeah.
I don't think that's you hear Briar Rabbit and I say it all the time. I don't agree with that. We can agree to disagree all the time. And sometimes we see each other's points, and sometimes we have to agree to disagree. And that's a part of having a good communication. So you guys come on. Don't be afraid to, if you have a completely conflicting idea on what we're talking about or what I say or what he says, voice your opinion.
That's right. This is only the 10th episode, which, by the way, congratulations, because this is the 10th episode.
Congrats!
This is the 10th episode. We got plenty of time to grow. We got plenty of time to work on the format. This is a nice, brand new show. We can do anything we want with this show. This is a wonderful thing.
And I'm so pleased. I'm over here looking at the comment section, seeing all our subscribers and all our friends making all these comments. You guys, this means the world to me. Just to see you guys here and participating means a lot to me. Thank you all for participating in the channel and leaving your thoughts and your ideas. And this is the beginning. This is the beginning of a long trip. And I'm just so happy you guys are here in the passenger seat with Beastly Gamer and Briar Rabbit. Wherever we go, it's going to be a good place. And I'm just so happy you guys are here with us.
Absolutely. I can't be happier with the positivity I see in the comment section, day in, day out. It's unbelievable to me. I hope it never changes. I know at some point it seems like it does for most people, but right now I think is probably the best time, you know, because everybody who is on the channel right now is just it's so filled with positivity. It's so much fun to get into the comment section. I wish I could be in there more often. You know, unfortunately, I have 2 jobs and I try and make videos.
Hey, listen, basically, this is how I feel about it. You guys like breeds like. It's like if you're a certain type of person, if you have a certain type of energy, you're going to pretty much attract that, okay? I actually almost made a video a few days ago because I saw my first hater, and I was like celebrating. I said, oh my God, oh. I told Kate, I said, this guy hates me, okay? It's great. This guy, I forget his name. I think his name was Frank or Fred. He called me a Sony pony. And I was like, wow, this is like the first diss. I feel like I'm in the middle of the East Coast, West Coast rap battle, right? And I was so excited because normally, if people don't agree with me, a lot of people don't. Marco, he owns an Xbox One, and he's a great friend of mine. And I don't hold it against him that he's an Xbox One owner. He doesn't hold it against me that I'm always talking shit about him. We have ideas, we exchange thoughts, and that's part of a community. And the reason that you don't have any haters and there's really very little negativity on my channel or yours is because we really don't permeate that. We don't. When people hear us talking, they don't hear hate. They usually hear enjoyment and laughter and excitement. And normally that doesn't give people much reason to hate. You know, you don't feel hate when someone's happy. You don't go into a birthday party and get pissed off because the atmosphere is so good.
Yeah.
And that's what your channel is. Your channel is a very good atmosphere, and I think mine is too. It's working out to be. Hopefully you guys agree with me.
Absolutely. My favorite videos are when you're doing them from the van down by the river.
Huh?
In that box. Like, this dude is so passionate about making YouTube videos and he's doing them on lunch break.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
I mean, look, man. It's sometimes I feel it. It's so real. I'll get in the car and right before I'm heading off to work, I'll be on 75 going 50 miles an hour. I won't look at the camera because I'm focused on the road, right? But I know what I want to say. I'll pull the camera out, I'll hold it to the side of my head, and I'll tell you guys the news.
Yeah.
And I'll click upload as soon as I park, and it's a done deal. And sometimes I'm at work, I might get some news on my phone, like, oh God, they got to know this stuff. I'll pull it out and I'll put it right in front of the computer and I'll tell you guys the news right there. I mean, it's passion. You know, I feel like you guys are an extension of me, extension of my family. I want you guys to know. And some people might say it's a little extreme. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You know, it's what I am. It's what I like to do.
You know Drifter. Do you know who Drifter is?
No.
He made a video. This must have been 7 or 8 months ago, I would guess. Drifter does the gun guides for Call of Duty, like the in-depth gun guides for Call of Duty. He's great videos. And one day he uploaded this random ass video. It's basically like, you know, how to like start making a YouTube channel. And I was probably 6 months into it at the time, and I watched the video, and man, he had such great advice. That's the kind of people I like to be involved with, like people who want to share and to be, you know, positive. Like he's exactly the kind of guy, you know. I don't know. It's just he's a role model for me.
His name is Drifter or Drifter?
Drifter with a 0 instead of an O at the end.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and check him out and see what he's all about. I never heard of him. He's a Call of Duty guy too?
Yeah, Call of Duty primarily. He does some League of Legends every once in a while and some random stuff every once in a while. But primarily he does in-depth videos about like weapons and equipment on Call of Duty.
Yeah, COD Made Player does some similar stuff. And those are the things I really appreciate. When you go above and beyond, you know, and you really go deep. You've done that stuff. Your favorite loadouts, you know, your favorite perks. You know, I don't know exactly the name of it because I don't have the right headset to utilize it, but when you're able to hear your surroundings and you're also dead silent in Call of Duty Ghosts, that's something that you always talked about. I was like, oh
God,
man.
yeah.
The fact that you do things like that is head and shoulders above what everybody else does. It's just news. You're going in depth. You're giving a part of yourself away to your audience, man. That just makes a ton of difference. I think it's great.
Speaking of headsets, have you heard about this gold wireless headset that Sony's releasing? I think tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, it's not in stores. I've been going to GameStop, like telling them, hey, if this thing comes in, I want to be first in line to buy one because for $100, it's a 7.1 virtual surround sound headset, wireless, Also has a jack in it so you can plug in an iPhone or your Vita. It's unbelievable value. I can't believe that they're releasing this thing for $100.
$100?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's mine then. Thanks, Brian Rabbit.
Yeah, I'm jumping on this thing. I don't know that I'll keep it. You know, I have a bunch of headsets already, but, you know, so if I use the Astro A50 wireless headset, but this is a $300 headset. And this Pulse wireless headset seems to be doing just about everything that this Astro does for a third of the price. I don't know. You know, we'll see. It's got a microphone in it, but it's not. It doesn't extend out. You know, it's included. It's kind of like a hidden thing. Also, it's called the Gold Wireless Headset, and on the box, it's got a picture of a gold trophy. And, you know, if you're familiar with the trophy system on the PlayStation, there's a Platinum trophy, too. So I wonder if we're going to see a Platinum headset come out, too.
Oh, wow. More than likely, then.
Yeah.
You know how cryptic Sony can be.
Yeah. I mean, it just, that little gold icon of the gold trophy really made me think maybe there's going to be a platinum one too.
And you said this headset comes out tomorrow?
Well, that's what they're on the PlayStation blog, Sony's PlayStation blog. That's where I first saw it announced, and they had like a little video about it. And I could have sworn I saw February 10th for the release date. Possibly I might have seen that on Amazon. I can't remember exactly where I saw the release date at this point, but they said it's definitely coming in February. And I've been scanning because I want to get this thing day one. I'm really excited about it. I think it looks really cool.
Oh, okay. I haven't got a gaming headset yet, but this sounds. People don't like Sony, especially for the TVs. But I'm such a PlayStation fan. I like Sony shit. I'm thinking of actually getting the new Xperia phone. Because Kate, you know, we like the whole idea of the waterproof, go skinny dipping. No, I'm just kidding. But at any rate, I might go ahead and give this a shot. It's only $100, but I definitely am going to be grabbing a Blue Yeti. If not this week, more than likely next week, I'll order me one off eBay because the sound that I get from your channel is fucking great. It really is. Kate even came to me and said, "What is he using? It sounds like he's talking like right in front of us." I said, "It's called the Blue Yeti. It's really good." And so I'm definitely going to grab that. Hey,
these Blue Yetis, if you're planning on starting a YouTube channel, they're a really good microphone, and they're cheap, and they hook up USB. You don't have to have a mixer or XLR hookups. You know, you can get better microphones, but it's going to cost you a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, it sounds great. And for me, like when I do things like Beauty and the Beast, you know, when I have people around, I really think it's great for, you know, that kind of environment. It'll be able to pick up she and I 6 inches away. She likes to sit next to me and we'll talk. So
yeah, it's got different sound modes on the back, so you can tell it to just listen from one direction or from all around or from both sides. Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
I want this whole hookup though. Kate said, "Is that connected to his computer? How is it sitting like that?" I said, "No, he's got the stand."
It's like a boom because you know why I got that is because every time I tapped the table, it would come up through the microphone.
Oh, it was the Jurassic Park boom boom.
Yeah, it was a gift, Christmas present from my mother. My mother got me the boom.
Oh man, you are the man, Brian Rabbit. Every woman in your life is getting you stuff for the channel. I got to step my game up, Mom.
Because I'm so damn charming.
Hey, Mom. Love you, Mom. Yeah, well, so charming. I try my best, and it is Valentine's coming up. I'm gonna have to step my game up, man.
Yeah, I had a hard time because I did iPads last Christmas for both my mother and for Jan. And then this Christmas, I was like, what the fuck do I do to get to the top of an iPad?
Oh, man. How did your mom adapt to that technology? Is she really tech-savvy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't call her tech-savvy, but the iPad, you don't necessarily have to be too tech-savvy to use it.
Listen,
I would say it's easier to use than a regular computer.
My mom cannot send a text message, so count your blessings. And she is literate. She can read. She doesn't understand the dynamic of texting, and she lives in Ohio, but she has the mindset like a person who was born in the Alabama swamp. And so it's like showing her. I showed her YouTube, Brian Rabbit. I swear, I showed her YouTube last year, and her mind was blown.
Yeah.
Last year, she said, "I want to see the scene from Days of Our Lives." I said, "Mom, okay." I showed her some General Hospital crap, blew her mind. So she thinks it's like Walmart, the evil empire. That's so scary. So everyone isn't as blessed as you and your mother.
No, my mother's awesome. I love her.
That's great.
Yes.
Did you hear about this new? I know we're running out of time, guys. Did you hear about this new Sonic game though? I used to be a big Sonic fan, believe it or not. when Sonic first came out, when Sonic came out on Sega Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure, and then slowly but surely Sonic became shit.
I don't know. There were a couple of good ones for the Xbox 360.
Really? Which one?
Yeah, I want to say it was Colors, Sonic Colors.
Sonic Colors was on the Nintendo DS, wasn't it?
Was it? I can't remember. The kids played two of them that were decent. One of them was actually really good. I mean, it was like if I gave it a score out of 1 through 10, I'd probably give it like a high 7 or a low 8, but it was damn good.
Yeah, it's called Sonic Boom. It's coming out it's only for Nintendo though, because Sega has this deal right now with Nintendo exclusives. So it's coming out on the Wii U and the 3DS. It actually looks pretty good, honestly. I watched the trailer for it, I think Friday night, and they've redesigned Sonic. This team that's creating this game actually has members from the original Uncharted team.
Really?
Sonic now, he has the same thing around his neck that Nathan Drake has on his neck. And
Really?
so he's different. Knuckles is really big. It looks like he's about a foot or 2 foot taller than Sonic, Amy, and Tails. And it looks like they're trying to revitalize the game or the series. And the game, honestly, looks really good. So I'm hoping that Sonic, could potentially pose a comeback, because there's this new animated series coming out that's going to coincide with this game. And so they wanted to create this game because the series is going to launch alongside of it on Cartoon Network. But it looks really good, and hopefully Sonic is able to be resurrected, because he's been plagued with a plethora of not quite stellar games recently.
Yeah, Sony's not the company they used to be. Capcom reminds me of that too. I remember back in the 90s, Capcom. If a Capcom game got released, I was gonna get it, because Capcom was like the best developer. Sony was a lot like that too. If you got a first-party Sony game for your Genesis, you knew it was going to be quality. And they just these companies have peaks and valleys. I assume it's they get the great developers in there, and then that developer moves on to another company. So it's all about talent, I'm sure, and money probably.
Yeah, things happen. We'll see what happens. That's really all I got, Briar Rabbit.
I think I'm good to go. I gotta kind of pee. I'll be honest with you.
This is the first time, guys. The 10th episode, Rough the Urine. Now,
bring in the urine, right?
Look, there you go, Briar Rabbit. All right, drink. Okay, listen, guys. We really are thankful for all you viewers and subscribers. Thank you all so much for watching. 10 episodes. We got many more to come. This is not going to stop. We love doing this show. We love you guys. Be sure to comment, subscribe. I got to say that. I'm the Beastly Gamer. And that's all I got, Briar Rabbit.
Yeah, don't forget about COD Made Player. Go check out his channel, too. He got some interesting news today. You got to check out his videos, because some pretty tumultuous stuff going on over there. So check out COD Made Player, and don't forget to look at Beastly Gamer. Check out my channel at Briar Rabbit Channel, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.